coming to the next episode of Cocktail and Cleavage with Miss Locks.
And Joy Perez.
Um, Once again, as you can see, we're in two separate places because our households are still sickly as hell. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm definitely not feeling my best today, but we still had to get this done, so that's what we're doing. You see this new growth? If
No,
y'all
not
judge
everybody
me,
can see.
well, that's all right because if they do and they judge me, they're anti-black. Don't do it. All right, this is new growth, new growth. All right, all right. So Joy, because she has adulting to do tomorrow, the audacity, she won't be partaking in our cocktail. Pause. Uh, and I am just having my normal glass of wine. So nothing really fancy this week. Hopefully, our households will be back to normal next week and we can start doing our normal recording session. Plus, I miss not seeing my friends on a regular basis. We have literally not been in the same vicinity for like 3 weeks. And I feel
Yes.
like I'm going through withdrawals because we're together at least 2 times a week. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? We've had 3-day weekends. We haven't got to hang out. I need
I
Texas to
mean,
calm down.
I got to see Ty the other night, so
Ain't got nothing to do with me. Mm. And so, over this week, anything new that's going on?
no. I mean, this what happens when everybody's sick. We just been in the house. Um, what did we do? This past weekend, Beast and Rebel got to play with more fire since we just at home. Rebel doing the things, um,
Excuse
working
me.
on my
Give me
my
a second because
curriculum.
I need to pout about that for a second. Because I got the massage table, but I don't have the stuff for the fire. Shit on fire. Okay, go ahead. I'm ready.
Yeah, just getting my life together. Homeschool co-op starts this week, so finalizing my lesson plans. And let me tell you, today was fucking hard. I don't know why I choose to wake up so damn early and start working on things, but 7 a.m. was not the time to be like revisiting generational trauma.
Valid point. Valid point.
But I met with some of my peoples just before this and got some stuff talked out and worked out. I'm super excited. Um, Not gonna give no spoilers, but if you know me, you know I'm always working on something and doing something. Um, we missed our interview. That was a time with the spider and we lost signal and but I had mentioned that in the next 6 months to a year I was gonna be doing some things, so working
As
out
you
those
should.
details.
Yes, yes. That's exciting. That's exciting. I know I got a couple of things in the work as well. Also, in our togetherness, we also have what's going on with Uncensored.
Yes.
On the 21st, we have our first dungeon event, which I'm super excited about in comparisons to a lot of spaces. It could be more, I feel like it's more small scale, but I enjoy the idea of it being small scale because it allows for more intimacy, more one on one. But I'm super excited about being able to like have a space that I know is safe for everybody that's there. And it can actually be whatever it is that we need it to be. Whether there are people that are wanting to learn, wanting to experience, wanting to actually play, like just everything is like there and the options are endless. And so I'm super excited about it. So if you haven't bought your ticket, what did you do? If you have not gotten your things together, what are you doing? right? Because you don't want to miss out. And that's just how I feel about that. Because I'm going to be there. I got to find an outfit, but that's a whole conversation for a whole nother time, right?
Oh God, I haven't even thought about that yet.
I got to, because you know the way my body dysmorphia is set up. I need three options for the just in case, right? So we have the free body one where I'm like feeling myself and I'm like, yeah, you a bad bitch. And then the middle one that's like, you a bad bitch with slight issues, right? Then there's the ones like, you cool today, just go ahead and just put it on. So I need those three options. So I got to think about it early to figure out exactly what I want to wear. But yeah, I've already been trying to figure out that, and part of me wants to get in like some playtime, maybe a little bit on an occasion on the little whoopty wop or whatever. So I gotta ask Ty if he's gonna let me beat him. Oh,
I was just about to ask, whose ass you being? Because Ty said he's a masochist.
he totally is. So I play within that realm. 'Cause he'll quick to be like, hey, hey, hey. I
What he
barely
do?
did it. I
He
just
gonna
I
punch
just
himself
did
and be
the
like, see, see.
he's totally like, oh yeah. Oh, he'd be like, look at me. And
I'm sure if you ask Beast real nice to bring his fire, he'll let you play with some fire.
okay, we don't talk about that. I'm about to not catch this place on fire is what I'm gonna not do. Um, what else?
Safety first.
um, let's see. For me um, this week has been, as we talked about on our last podcast. Last week was just a taxing week emotionally. And this week for me was just playing catch up. I had a great weekend. I tried to focus on relaxing because I don't do a lot of that. I need to get better with that. What else? I feel like that's it. Like I didn't have anything super like fantastic. I sat down all day today and watched anime and got snuggled and slept. And we all know I don't do none of that. So I'm like, so, I mean, snuggles, yes, anime, yes, but like, it doesn't have to necessarily all be together, right? But I, I did all of the things, so I'm super excited. I was super excited about that because it kind of refilled my cup. A lot of times we don't realize that our cup is empty. And it wasn't
Hmm.
until last weekend that I realized that yo, a bitch was trying to pour, but I had already put water in the ketchup bottle and shook it up and used it. And so as I was trying to like, it wasn't nothing in there. I was, I was, I was like, oh, this is empty, empty. It's not just broke empty. It's like super empty. So, being able to just take a little bit of time and like sit in whatever and just be and exist. And I have to worry about working. I didn't worry about posting anything. I didn't worry about like working on projects because one thing about us, we're gonna work on some goddamn projects. Sitting still, we're gonna work on some projects. Sitting down, having girl time, we're gonna work on some projects. Going to dinner, we're probably talking about some projects.
Yes.
We're always doing something. So, not doing any of that, having my phone on silent and just existing and being, um, is rest for me. So, that was a great feeling for me anyway. Um, but I think that's about it. I didn't do anything super, you know. So it cooled down this morning.
I know. I walked outside to smoke my first cigarette and had to walk right back inside and find a hoodie. It was amazing.
Look, I
Amazing.
got little mama ready for school, and sickly McGee was asleep. So, I took her to the bus stop and we walked outside and we were like, yeah, and we hit the porch and we was like, oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't know what's going on out here, but we gotta. But remember, she had outgrown everything. I just went to the store and got her all the things because thrifting is life. Um, but um, came in and I was like, "Well, come on, let's go steal one of tie hoodies because you're the smallest one in this house. Go see your size. Come on, move. Come on."
He's gonna
And
have so
so
much fun with this video.
yeah, it's what it is. It was still big as hell on her, but it was way better than me putting mine on. You know what I mean? So, um, but yeah, it was nice. Matter of fact, Nugget chilled outside all day. He ain't bark. Matter of fact, I had to make sure he was still alive because I thought he had went to the upper room. Like I was like, has anybody heard from Nugget? I haven't heard from Nugget. I looked outside. Nugget is just living his best life. Now I'm working with a friend to get the dog run together.
Okay.
Once we get that dog run together, we're getting that she shed together. When we get that she shed together, it's all type of debauchery going on. All right. So if you see me trying to turn upside down on the pole,
Mind your business.
mind your fucking business. You hear me?
That's all you, sis. I ain't getting upside down for fucking nobody.
That's all, but I want to learn how to do it. Like I just want to, because I didn't even know that the poles turn automatically. So I'm like, ooh, that'd be great. And I've been looking at fat bitches poles because I can't get a skinny bitch pole, right? So it has to be durable. So I've been looking it up, and then I'm like, oh, it probably needs to be attached to a beam. But with having a 2-story she shed, it's possible. Hey, it's gonna be lit. Wait till I tell you, you're gonna be like, it's gonna be a party. Wait till I tell you, it's gonna be great. Uh,
My kid's gonna be mad. They're gonna be like, "Mom, where's mom? At Auntie Lox's house."
Doing all kind of crazy stuff. I'm super excited about it. I've been talking about it. That was one of the main reasons why I purchased the house. So being able to do all the, even though back then I was just like, oh, it was 3 4 years ago before I really got into this. So I was like, oh, it'd be great. Like I could do like a reading nook. I don't want no reading nook. I want to be able to beat somebody's ass in that space. I want to be able to be like, I was like, I was like
I
music.
mean, you can still read in there. You
Yeah.
can read bitches for filth in there. I don't know.
Boom! Can you imagine if we took Burn Book onto a whole nother playing field and then it's like Burn Book, the extended version. Come to VHS tapes near you. Do they even make VCRs anymore?
No.
Fuck. We can totally be vintage though. Like I feel like we should still do it on VHS.
I don't like the way this is turning.
um. So while we're talking about how this week went, there's something that I want to address. We normally don't talk about like a lot of like, there's a lot of times that we don't talk about how it is to be people that want to be in the middle of things, curate things, create things. I want to eventually be known as somebody that was a trailblazer, that walked in and shook shit up and knocked shit over. Like that is my goal. And so everything that I do is for that purpose. I want to be able to curate spaces that I feel is safe, spaces that I feel is educational, spaces that I feel that promotes healthy, consensual, kinky situations, whatever that looks like for them. And if anybody listened to my first few podcasts when it was still Cocktails, I mean, not cocktails, but coffee and cleavage. I often talked about my experience, my very first experience off of that, where someone befriended me, stating that they just wanted to be my friend, you know, Black women unity, dominant women unity, single mother unity. And I was like, yes, I want all of that. This is amazing. It's phenomenal. And I later found out that it was really just a ruse to get to what she really wanted, which was math. It wasn't going to happen. Shut it down. And when I over Central Texas, TNG, and beyond, I started to pay more attention to just people around me because it is a TNG group. There's not a lot of newbies. So as you come into that space, I'm paying attention to how you move. If you are a older person and you're coming in, I'm paying attention to why you're here. I'm looking at all of these things because my space is supposed to be a space that's safe for people to learn, grow, and grow. I recently received a message on that from the same young lady that was predatory when I first came in. And when she came in like she normally comes in. I'm coming to you as a
Sis.
female dominant. Okay? I'm coming to you as a female dominant. And I have heard that you have taken over the munches here at CTX. And I would like for us to collect. I want to be able to host parties in my house. It can hold 10 to 15 people. Literally, this is how the message is going. I would love to talk to you about this more. Now, there's several things that I want to address. One of them is the concept of collaboration. Okay? Collaboration is supposed to be beneficial for both parties. When you're coming to me and you're saying, I want to collaborate with you, I want to throw an event with you, I'm definitely going to look at what do I get from that partnership, right? What is it that I get from that situation? And I don't know if I'm wrong, so correct me, Joy, because how do you look at collaboration?
I mean, the same way.
Just trying to make sure I'm not wrong. It should be a mutual benefit, a mutually beneficial situation. So in that regards, that's not the case. Secondly, I run a TNG group. For those of you that don't know what a TNG group is, it's the next generation. It's the new people. It's the people that are just coming in or maybe have been in for a little while but are trying to really learn and things of that nature. They're trying to find community. They're trying to find safe spaces. My TNG is not a place where I then set up play parties. There's plenty of spaces out here in Texas that do parties. We're starting to be one of those groups that do parties, but it's not my TNG group. It's my uncensored organization. Those are two separate entities, and I treat them as such. And I guess my biggest thing is that a lot of times people don't realize how your name is all that you have in this industry. And what it is that we do, your name is everything. And who your name is attached to can make or break your reputation. Knowing that someone is problematic, predatory, unsafe, untruthful, and aligning yourself with them would be detrimental. It's a death sentence to what it is that you're trying to build. And I don't think that that's something that's talked about often. It's something that's hush. Like we just don't talk about Bruno. We don't do that. And I feel like it should be talked about more because so many people come in and they want to see the good in people, and they don't use their critical thinking skills to say, hey, like for me, you came in with all of these demands and never issued an apology. And then when I said, yes, I do run the TNG Munch here, but our last engagement didn't go so well, is how I posted it. Her response was, oh, I'm not trying to fuck you this
I wish y'all could have seen her face.
time. What? Like, this is what we're doing. Oh, that was 2 years ago. You're worried about something 2 years ago? Yes. Because if you've truly grown as an individual, if you've grown as a person, you understand how your actions could have had a bad um a bad vibe or whatever you want to call it on whomever you were indulging with at that time. And the right thing to do would be to apologize for your behavior. Instead, she stated, oh, well, I let somebody read our correspondence and, they're in the lifestyle. And they said that I never came at you as anything else but what it was, not as a friend. Okay, so and then tried to hit me with the, if you don't want to create safe spaces for the community, with fun and non sexual play, then, and not let bygones be bygones, then I understand. First of all, we're not going to gaslight up in here. We not that's what we're not going to do, because I create safe spaces in every aspect of everything that I'm doing. Everything that I do is a safe space. And what I realized is that she has been in this lifestyle forever. And she has not been able to curate in that time what I have been able to build in the 2 years. Not even 2 years. It hasn't even been a heavy 2 years that I've been on this journey. She has not been able to create the community that I have. She has not been able to build the support system that I have. And so now it's time to say, oh, I know her. Let me try to sit on her coattails. And we're not going to do that about that. We're not going to do that. Like, I'm not going to allow it. And I hesitated to even talk about it, but it irritated me so bad. And I realized that one of the biggest things in regards to what it is that we do is that a lot of times people deal with stuff and suffer in silence, not understanding how many people could be going through the exact same thing that I have experienced, and how my take on those situations could really help them maneuver through the process. So I just had to get that off my chest. I'm done talking now. A lot, but I needed to tell y'all that because it was the audacity for me.
See, and it's shit like this that happens. People don't get called out, or people don't want to talk about these things. So, like, for example, when Sir Johan and I and Beast and I came back out into the community, I want to say 12, 11, 12 years ago, um, we got we got caught up with a couple, and on paper they looked great, right? They on paper they had been in the community for a long time, had a bunch of friends, they were hosting their own stuff, they were going to things. So we started hanging out with them and doing stuff with them, but it was very much like, do what I say, not what I do. And getting caught up in like that new relationship energy, those rose colored glasses, because we had been out of the community for so long. We were just so excited to get back into it and be around people that we were really blind to a lot of things. And like, they kind of kept us very separate. Like, they would only bring us to like things that they were hosting, or only certain events where like the people hosting it were their like close friends. It wasn't at like munch groups. We didn't go to munch groups. We didn't go to cons. We didn't do things. It was very much like play party based things. And it took a couple of years before like, the scales started to come off our eyes and we actually started to see them for who they were, and we started to like separate. And when we finally like cut ties completely, there was no space for us because we were always guilty by association. Even though we weren't participating on the fuck shit that they were doing, even though we weren't hanging out with the same people, even though we weren't like in the spaces where they were doing problematic things, but because we were friends and people saw us together all the time, we were guilty by
By
association.
association.
When we tried to come back into community, because after that situation, we left the community again. And when we tried to come back into the community, we were getting side eyed very much. Oh, I remember you. And like the snideness or like, in their tone. And I want to say maybe 3 years ago, um, somebody from our past at that time that we knew back then had saw me at SPLF and approached me, and they had pulled me aside and they apologized because they were like, we knew who that couple was and we knew that they were predatory, we knew that they were problematic, and we knew that they were doing all of these things, and you being new into the community, we should have warned you. I should have warned you. I should have said something to you, and I'm sorry that I never did. And it's like, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the acknowledgement, but it's like it's a little too late. Like the damage was done. Like when we say like your name, your reputation is everything, like this community talks. We talk about vetting all the time. We encourage our newbies to vet people, organizations, houses, cons, all of these things before aligning themselves with them. So like when we don't share information with each other and we don't talk about it and we don't speak up, we're doing a disservice to a lot of people, and I get a lot of backlash for that when I talk about that. But I know what it's like to have your reputation tarnished just by being associated with somebody who is problematic. You
Yes.
know, recently when we were talking about a vetting process, I had mentioned like I want to know, even though this person is who we're looking at, I want to know who their partner is, what munch groups they are a part of, what organizations they volunteer with, who are they putting their time and energy into, because it tells you a lot about a person when they're pouring that much into something else or into another person.
Mm-hmm.
Who are they being influenced by?
Right.
And I mentioned last week that one of the people that I was dealing with had said that I live in privilege because I don't know what it's like to have my name drug through the streets, right? That as high as I am, I don't know what that's like. And I was like, first of all, I'm not as high as you think that I am, You
Mm-hmm.
might see me in these spaces, but it's because I'm the board president of this space. I am the face of this organization. However, I don't do it alone. I have a whole team. Even in the leather community, yes, I've been in this for a long time, and just like you, like that's the whole reason why I handed TNG over to you, is because you have the same vision as me, creating safe spaces for people. Because we
Mm-hmm.
know what it's like to be in spaces that is not safe for us. And I didn't get to where I'm at by not failing, by not making mistakes, but I always own my shit. I always talk about my faults. I'm
Mm-hmm.
very open about my life, my mental health, my physical health, my partners, fuck, even my kids, you know. But I was telling this person, like, The reason why you don't see all the fuck shit or what you think you should be seeing is because I don't put myself in those situations. You know, do I have off days? Absolutely. Are there times where like I mishandle a situation or I talk sideways? I mean, hell, we call each other mean girls. We have a whole section called a burn book. You know what I mean? Everybody has their shit, you know. I am not perfect by all means. However, when I know that I'm being problematic, I own it. I surround myself with people who will keep me accountable. And when I do fuck up, I hold myself accountable. And we talked, what was it? During our book club. And then we talked a little bit about it in our switches Zoom too, amongst us switches. We talked about what makes a good leader, or the type of service, or a type of leader, or the type of dominant, right? Fucking ego. Do you have the ability to be humble and recognize your own problematic behaviors? This person in your inbox wants to do all of these things and curate all of these spaces and wants to host all of these things. But are you a good leader? Somebody tells you that you were problematic. It doesn't matter if it was 2 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. If you harmed somebody, own it. I was telling the lady that said all that shit to me. I was not a good person 5, 10, 15 years ago. I still had a lot of trauma that I was still trying to deal with, a lot of baggage, and hurt people hurt people.
All the time.
When you're unhealed, you do fuck shit because you're just trying to escape. And whatever little feeling of whatever it is, no matter how self destructive it is, you're chasing that feeling. And you
Most
hurt people and you hurt yourself and you make bad decisions.
every
I
time.
told her, I'm still, to this day, I still face consequences of my actions when I was 16, 15, 17. And I have to sit in it and I have to own it. I can't get mad. I made those choices. Somebody tells that you hurt them or you did something to them. It's not up to you to determine whether or not you did or not. Intent versus impact.
Impact every time. Every time. Um, I think that that is something that we definitely don't talk about enough. We don't tend to talk about how not taking accountability plays a lot on whether people believe that you are truly sorry for what has happened versus trying to make excuses for them. Um, Even in situations where I don't feel I was necessarily at fault, I always use those spaces or those experiences to think of ways that I could have handled myself better in order to not have prolonged the situation, to alleviate the situation. How could I have handled that to not even have had this experience? Everything should be a learning experience. And when we talk about ego, I have found, especially with an experience recently, that a lot of people will play on your ego if you have one. Coming to me and saying, I've seen everything that you've done. I've seen how you've grown. I've been watching, and if I had an ego, I'd have been like, oh, me? You've been watching me? I have been working on this or whatever, 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 That's and even as a D type, that allows people a certain level of control because they know that they can just stroke that ego and they can get whatever they want. I don't have an ego. I'm not doing this to appease anybody. I'm not doing this for accolades. I'm not doing this for atta girls. And I don't give a dang about ooh, good job, Miss Locks, because that don't pay no bills. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like I cannot pay an electric bill with a good job, you know? So I'm doing this for the purpose of just the want and the love and the respect for the community as a whole. Um, People don't understand how ego hurts them, not just because they have an ego, but people learn how to play on that ego. People know how to come in and be like, oh, they're egotistical. All I got to do is come in and stroke that, and then I'm good. Now all of a sudden you out here and you're out here bad because you've allowed people to fill your head up and they have decided to push you in the forefront of some bullshit that you should have never been in the first place. So ego is bad and self-destructive on so many different levels. No one is above reproach. No one is above making mistakes. I don't give a damn how long you've been doing whatever the hell it is you're doing.
And let
You
me
should.
tell you, because I know
Mhm.
I'm gonna hear it from, there's always somebody, right, that's gonna say differently.
Mhm.
I might walk around like I have an air about me. I have been told that I am intimidating. I have been told that, you know, I think my shit don't stink when I'm in these spaces because of the way that I carry myself and like the way that I am. That ego that you see is a facade. It really is. When you see me at cons or you see me at my event, like, it's all a fucking facade. That is my armor. I put that face on and I walk the walk and I talk the talk because if you could see me at home, if you could see me with Miss Locks when the cameras are off, what is it? Fucking imposter syndrome all the time. How many times do I call you, or how many times do we have conversations about, like, what the fuck am I doing? Who put me in charge of this shit? Who said I was
Where's the
qualified
adult?
to do this shit?
Who? Why would
So,
y'all leave us alone so we can super glue our fingers together? Why would y'all do that?
exactly. Exactly. You know, I know that people are watching me and hoping I fail, which is why I act the way that I act out in public, but believe me, there's no ego here at all.
But you
I
know,
I usually have to be talked into doing half the shit that I be doing.
but you know what? I want to say that a lot of times people take confidence as ego, and those are two different things. The difference between the two is realistically the viewpoint, in my opinion, of oh my shit don't stink, and I know what I'm talking about, and I want to share it with the people. There's difference between confidence and arrogance, or whatever the case may be. And people use them interchangeably because they don't understand the difference. Not able to read people in that manner. I don't feel that you walk around as if you're unapproachable, but I've been told that I'm unapproachable. I've been told that and I feel like I'm the friendliest person ever. Like a lot of times people be like, how many times do I have to be like, no, seriously? Why? Because I'm not out here yelling and cussing and telling you. I'm not. No, that's not what it is. But I feel like I do carry myself in a manner that is one that is um, demanding respect. And I also feel like we get a bad end of the stick because we're women. And they feel that we should move in a certain way. So if we have confidence, we if we talk in a manner that shows that we know that what we're talking about, then we are then seen as our ego's super big. She's so great. She thinks she's But half of the time I'd be like, girl, I didn't even feel like getting on this damn camera anyway. Where's the shots? You know what I mean? Like that is That is our thing. So I think that there's so much that goes into it, and it's so like level. Like it's like a onion. Like you pull back one, and you're like, yeah, because they're egotistical. But why are they egotistical? Society. Like is it really? It's just like, and it's like constantly pulling it back, and just like an onion, you spend so much time crying, you never make it to the core. I've never, without cutting an onion, ever peeled an onion to the core.
Who
Never
does
made it
that?
to the center. Huh?
So, who does that? Did you really sit there and try to peel an onion all the way to the core? I just want to
And first
know.
of all, I don't need your judgment. I did, and my eyes was burning, and I said, "Fuck this shit." But I really tried because everybody talked about peeling onions, and I was like,
I'm questioning your life right now.
it be like that sometimes. But yes, I've totally
I'm
tried
talking
to.
all
But
this
I
shit. Now
also
I
went
want to go try it though.
look. I've also been to culinary arts school. So like I went to Job Corps and got my certificate in culinary arts. So there was a lot of time to where you just had time to ponder about shit. And when you got 80,000 onions in the space and those intrusive thoughts is going, is it really my fault? I don't think it is.
Okay, whatever you say, sis. Whatever you say.
You see how she so patronizing. Just so I don't like that. Mm. Um, I'm trying to think about what other things we can like feed off of from that. Because it's such a deep topic. Um, I don't think I have anything else because I said what I had to say. Because hopefully they see this
Eek.
and they know I see them.
What they say, the only apology is changed behavior.
Mm-hmm. Very much
And
so.
her reaction to your feedback was
And I wasn't rude, and anybody that follows me know that I pop the fuck off. And I sat on that for a while, and I was like, how should I respond? And it was like, oh, yes, I do this. However, our last interaction was not a productive interaction. And then it was like, oh, I'm not trying to sleep with you this time. Hey,
See, and that's why I don't understand why people think I'm so goddamn intimidating. I think I'm like the most diplomatic person out of our whole friend group.
I feel like you are too, because I'd be like, bitch, do you want me to slap him? And you'd be like, no, you can't slap people. Because I'm like, you sure? I just think that it's your confidence that get them started because you really are. Because sometimes I'd be like, I just feel like I need to take this whole situation over and I can just knock all this shit over and then I'll just apologize for it later because she not handling this the way that it needs to be handled. And I knock shit over and Ty want to duel everybody. Do you hear what I'm saying? And I feel like,
um, Beast will like Beast was ready to like call out of work, drive and go beat some ass. Rebel was like cussing up a storm and yelling, and if you've ever met Rebel in real life, she is like quiet and calm. So to like see her pissed off sometimes, I'm like, and I'm the one who's sitting. I'm sometimes I have like inappropriate emotional responses. Okay, so y'all are yelling and cussing and ready to fight everybody, and I'll just laugh and I'll just sit here and I'll just laugh, and then like Beast and Rubble will look at me and be like, "Why aren't you pissed off?" I'm like, I am mad. However, that's exactly what they want, so that they can turn around and play victim and be like, "See, I told you she was crazy. I told you she acts like this. I told you, I told you, I told you." And I will never give anybody the satisfaction. Say what you want about me. But people who know me, my actions speak for themselves.
And I love that for you. And I promise you
Rebel said all that.
that
She'd be
penguin and
ready to
that
fucking
penguin
fight people
suit.
too.
Hey, I'll pass her umbrella. She can waddle the hell on out of here. Stop playing with me. You know,
I need you to be cool.
I am cool.
Be cool.
I am.
Where's our
I need them
ED
to
so we
relax.
can tell you to relax?
I don't have an adult. Pass me the
But you
super
know,
glue.
and I don't think people have realized that, like, I have two people within, like, my most recent history who have tried to, like, tear my name down. But you don't see it. Because why?
Cause they ain't shit. Who are they? They will be the names that shall not be named because they are no one, and I am sure they're watching everything that we do, and I want them to know nothing. You know what I mean? Like I just
See, like I said, we're mean girls, but
I
we do it in a way.
I don't feel like we're mean girls because I don't just be out here being mean to
No.
people just to be mean. However, what really triggers me is that people be disrespectful, but then want to tell us how we should respond and react to said disrespect, and I don't rock with none of that. You don't get to like piss on me, tell me it's rain, and then when I find out it's piss, tell me I'm overreacting. Hey, if I want to beat your ass, you just gonna have to go ahead and take this ass whooping. If I want to cuss you out, you gonna have to go ahead and take this verbal ass whooping. You know what I mean? Like I feel like so many people move in a disrespectful manner, and then they expect you to take the high road. My name is not Michelle Obama, baby. Nope. Nope. When they go low, I go to hell every time, and right down there with Satan, baby. It just is what it is. All right. We not finna. I don't do all of this. Oh, I'm trying to be a better person. I'm not. I'm not. I'm trying to be a good person. Now, if you play in my face and I get you in order, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Because I am reacting to what you're doing. But you don't get to come in and do what you're doing and then expect me to be all passive about it. I'm not passive aggressive. I'm aggressive aggressive. And I feel like people falter from that. Like people don't understand that concept. All right, I am plugged up, so we don't have to worry about dying. Cause I was scared we was gonna get into like a good part. What was I talking about? I was clowning.
You aggressive, aggressive.
Ooh, I am totally aggressive, aggressive. Okay, we about to start back up. But I guess I say all of this to say you do not get to give disrespect and then tell somebody how to react to said disrespect, right? If you out here and you being disrespectful and you standing 10 toes down in that disrespect, hey, do you? But when I come out here and my crazy is above your crazy, you don't get to then be like, oh, this is too much. You should have picked better, right? This is vetting. You should have vetted me better so you'd have known what level of crazy I'm on. I just be out here minding my business and I get it. I'm super friendly. I'm goofy. I tell jokes. I do all for y'all that out for those of y'all that didn't know. St. Louis, Missouri. For those that know, no. So just let me be great. I've grown as a person, right? I have shit to lose, and I'm not gonna lose it just to lose it. However, that switch, if it's flipped, I don't know what to tell you. Just gotta get bail money. We gotta figure it out. So just be easy out here. Just be easy, because I never just come at somebody just to come at somebody. If I'm popping off, I'm popping off because
Because she's probably defending me because I won't. And it's
she
not that I
never
don't
defends
defend
herself. She's
me, I just
always
do
like,
it in a very
she's
non
like,
aggressive
oh, I
way.
just want to let you know that I am a phenomenal person, and my words and actions speak for themselves. And I'm in the background like, I'll beat your ass. She got goons out here, don't do it. So
I mean, people learned the hard way on Facebook, didn't they? They came for me and
I mean, hey, but when you have a tribe of people that believe in you and believe in what you're talking about, believe in what you stand for, all of those things, you can't tarnish something that's not there to be tarnished. Like, you cannot shit on, because who I am as a person, all of the things that I pour into the community, we don't get paid for this. We don't get paid for this podcast. Can the podcast be monetized? Yes. Is the podcast monetized? And nah. you know, when we do the munches, when we do these events, are we making hand over fist in that type? No. And there's time, there's attention, there's energy that goes into it. And so a lot of the times I feel like people don't take that into consideration when they're making these critiques. Like, and we're just supposed to be super friendly all the time, and I'm not built for that. I'm not really as nice as I can't. I love my people, and I am a great person, and I am phenomenal until I'm not. I'm nice until I'm not, and then once that fuse is flipped, now I'm just like, now she crazy.
I'm just sweet and innocent all the time. Why are you blinking at
Is
me?
this what we doing today?
Why are
we
you blinking
just
at
we
me?
just lying? Okay, okay. We can
I
show.
mean, I don't feel like I get mean, but I do get assertive. I mean, take our very first interaction together when I told somebody like, "Do you see me talking right now?" Yes. Okay, goodbye. So like I can get assertive, but I'm sweet and innocent. You see my halo hanging
the
here.
whole the whole halo.
My halo.
All right. So I guess the next thing would be our question
Yeah,
of
our
the
reaction
day.
segment.
Yes. So come on, Rebel. I feel like I'm part of, like, what's the damn game show host thing that used to be? You know what I'm
Hmm,
talking about? Where it's like
yes.
the Price is Right. That's what I'm
Yeah. Come on
talking about.
down.
Come on down. Da, 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 da,
Go ahead, keep going. How was,
da, da.
what do I win? Do I get to
All
drink
right,
though?
go
That's all I.
ahead.
You win me. Am I not prize enough?
Yes, yes, you are.
Oh gosh.
See what she put up with? Because she really didn't want that. What she wanted was a free vote. But she got to go to sleep tonight.
All right, you guys ready?
No, because y'all always come up with some fuck shit.
We ready.
How to differentiate your fantasies from your reality likes/wants. This the essential is in the title, but would like to hear experiences from others that also have more extreme fantasies. I feel like I am fairly content with quite moderate spanking, choking, slapping, etc. But sometimes fantasizing about really rough and extreme punishments and enjoy a lot when I see bruises and blood on myself after play. My issue is that I don't know where my fantasies start and reality ends. I would like to try more extreme stuff, but I am not comfortable telling them out loud since I am very worried they are in fact too extreme even for me, and my partner would think I am cuckoo for wanting them. Do you guys have a secret BDSM fantasy life outside your real one? And what are the stuff you have actually tried? And did you end up liking them?
Okay. So first we'll start with this comes to compatibility. Okay. When you are learning and growing and things of that nature, finding a partner that is also looking to do the same is super important. Or a partner that's okay that as you grow, if it overextends what they are willing and open to doing, they're okay with you finding someone else to top you in order to receive whatever it is that you're wanting. Um, Even though I have my limits, finding being in the spaces that I've been in, hey, I have seen some shit. I have talked to some people that enjoy some shit, and I never yuck someone else's yuck. Um, as far as trying extreme shit, I don't think that I'm on the extreme spectrum. I don't think that's something that I am necessarily into because extreme also like speaks to like the blood aspect of things. However, I do have this vampire paddle that I really, really, really want to try, but I have to have a person to try it with because body fluids, all of that. With a vampire paddle, you have to have a person, so it's just sitting there. Right? So I'm not opposed to blood, but there are certain things that I am opposed to. I don't think that there's a too much outside of like, you know, we don't want death. Um, or comatose hospitalization is not really on my thing of things to do either. But if it's for you and you are really wanting to try it out and you can find a safe way and a safe partner to do it with, I'm not necessarily opposed to it. I don't know. Maybe I'm not understanding the question correctly. Because you over there giggling and I don't like
I'm not giggling at you at
that.
all. I'm not. I really don't like this topic of conversation because, like, there's some things that I like to keep private about myself. I am very open about a lot of things. Um,
I don't share a lot either, so it's okay for you not to be putting all your shit out there. Because I'll tell you one thing: those that want to know the internal workings of me can do the work that is required in order to learn the internal workings of me. I share what I'm comfortable with sharing.
it's not even that I'm not comfortable. Okay, maybe it is. It's like it's very rare people see me play openly,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's very rare. I think what at the barbecue, like even Beast was shocked that I stripped out naked in the fucking parking lot and let him beat my ass in the parking
I
lot.
just want to let you know she let me like top her, and I was like super happy about that because I got to like experience everything.
And
But go ahead, I'm sorry.
I don't let people top me that aren't Beast or Sir. I don't do it very publicly. It's very rare you see me in the dungeon. But even those things that you see are very surface level of my kinks. Um, because people are fucking judgy. I like very taboo, dark, sadistic kinks. Um, Things that are not even like copacetic on FET. Like you can't even like find that shit on FET because it was banned. um, so when I tell you I have a very dark sadistic mind, like take that how you want and whatever things that you're like formulating in your brain, the answer is probably yes. Um, I think the most tamest of my dark fantasies is like dark age play. For those that don't know, that is like age players who engage in like sex and sexual acts while being in like age regression. And that is like a very taboo thing. And that is like the tamer of those things. So don't fucking judge me. I
No
won't even go
judgment.
into details. But, and it was so funny because you know, Sir Johann and I found kink a long time ago at a very young age. And when we brought Beast over to the dark side, um, and he was starting to explore and he was starting to like figure out who he was. And I had asked him one day, like, is there a fantasy that you've ever had that you thought was never going to be possible to fulfill? What is it, And it took him a long time because he was so worried that it wasn't going to like align, or he was going to freak me out, or I would like run away and look at him differently. So like, come to find out, like it was like really on par with all the things that I like to do or want to try, because some of these things you can't try because jail time. um You should see Miss Lox's face. But yeah, and it's about being safe and like with each other to be able to talk about these things and explore these things. And if exploring these things like doesn't need to stay a fantasy because jail time, you looking at me crazy now.
I'm totally not looking at you crazy. I really so in this whole journey that I'm on, there's so many things that were at one point in time a fuck no for me that is now a hmm. So I don't look crazy, like, because as I get more comfortable in the space that I'm in and just the journey that I'm on, I am finding that there are more and more and more things that I'm cool with. Now there are still hard limits for me, you know, what the hell is it called? Any, anything that has to do a scat play. Absolutely not, right? Number one. Um, Needle play. I don't think I'm gonna ever get out of that traumatic, like, medical experience to allow me to do needle play. Even though I'm topping in needle play, it's not something that I'm willing to do. It makes me queasy. And race play. Those are my hard hell no's. And a lot of people don't realize that when you talk about race play, it's not just other races with you. If you identify, bless you,
Thank you.
if you identify as a BBC, if you identify as ebony, like, all of that is taking your identity and turning it into,
A fetish.
and I'm not with that. I'm not gonna knock somebody else's yum. But what I can say is you can't sit at my table with that type of mentality. Um, and so those are my currently my only hard limits. Because when I started, I was like beating people ass. Y'all don't understand. Y'all think I'm like real posed and prim and proper. Now I was like, impact play. That is abuse. A whip, knives. Fire. Okay, we doing too fucking much. I'm not okay with none of this. And now further into it, I'm like, oh, I want to do all that shit, right? Um, but it's having the safety to explore and learning what you really are not okay with versus what society tells you that you can't be okay with. So for me, as long as it's consensual,
Yes.
non problematic.
And sometimes the fantasy is better than the reality. Like, we explored one of our darker fantasies, and for Beast, it was like after doing it was like, oh hell no, I'll never do this again. So like sometimes those fantasies should just be a fantasy because you run the risk of like actually going through it and realizing that that's not what it actually is, or it brings up all of these emotions that you weren't aware of or you didn't realize were going to like bring up these emotions, and it could fuck with you like big time.
All of that. But a
So
lot
like
of people, but that would require people to understand that in everything that we do, mental health comes into play, previous experiences come into play, societal norms and expectations come into play. I feel like we don't have enough time for all of that conversation. However, I do feel like that's something that people need to look into. Um, for me being, when I was newer, I wanted to learn the who, what, whens, and whys. I realized that there were certain situations that I would see and the admiration and the loyalty and all of that that kind of looked like Stockholm syndrome. And then I was like, well, what is causing this? And now the brain part of me is like, now I want to learn all of this. And now I'm like, oh, well, that comes from this and this can bring about this. So if I'm dealing with somebody, I do want that type of duration, but I want it to come from a healthy space. So if said person has not healed from this, and this, then it would not be beneficial and problematic to them as well as a detriment to me because if they become overly obsessive, then this could cause this, and this. I want it to be a healthy situation. Um, I think that a lot of people come into what it is that we do and they see it as just play and they don't understand all of the underlying
yeah.
non surface level things that come into play. Why there's such a big attachment for someone that comes in as a submissive and is getting these certain things met and these itches scratched, and why they are now so attached to the point of being in harm's way for themselves because they're allowing this person to take control. I don't think that people look
Yeah.
into that. And
Well, because
so
we
for
talk all the time about like what it is that we do is dangerous, but we only talk about like the physical dangers. You know, nobody, not nobody, there's not enough conversations about the psychological dangers of what it is that we do.
very much so, because that's what I look at all of that. Hey, if I see that you already have an addictive personality with just meeting me, and oh, you've seen me on social media, you've engaged with me online, and now you have this certain type of adoration. And adoration is great because I have my fangirl moments. It don't happen often, but when I do, boy, I fan out. And so knowing that as we are doing all of the things that we do, when we go to different places, like people are like, "Oh my gosh, it's you! It's Miss Moss," and all of that, and it's like, okay, first of all, it's just me, right? I'm nothing great out here, but understanding that people view us in a different way, which is okay. But I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the engagement with me. I'm looking at, is there like an obsessive compulsive situation? Like, how are you responding to our engagement? Like, all of that really makes such a big difference when we are going into these things. Mental health, for me, actually is more important than physical. Physical health, you can work around. Oh, you have bad knees. It's cool. You don't have to kneel. It's all right. You can just stand there in this pose and it's just fine and your knees will be all right. Mental health, there's not a lot of working around for those situations, right? And it's normally multi
Hmm.
faceted. Like, it's not just one issue. It's like, oh, she has this issue because there's this issue that is stemmed from this issue, and at the core is this issue. And so you have to be mindful, but I don't think that enough people enough people are, and it makes me sad because me, I want to delve into all of this, like not just the fun shit, but like the mental shit and the emotional and all of that plays a part. When I finally get someone that I have in service to me, I want to make sure that I can take care of them mind, body, and soul, not just one of the three. Like, I want to make sure that I know enough about enough to where I can see and guide and do all of the things that I need to do. And I don't think enough people look into that like that. And also, for the other side, know enough about yourself so you know how to protect yourself, because everybody's not looking to lead you mind, body, and soul.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when in doubt, knock all this shit over. That is gonna be knock it all over. I know I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming to our episode. I don't even know what number this is, so we just gonna play it off. Uh, we appreciate the time and energy that you guys take to sit down and listen and share all of this space with us. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and we also have our Patreon that you can join. It is free, but it will allow you eventually, because we're still getting it together. Don't judge us, baby. This takes time, and our executive producer has been under the weather. Um, but it will eventually allow you more of the stuff that we cut out and that YouTube or Spotify doesn't allow us to share. So, yes, anything you want to add?
No, you
All
killing it.
right. Thank you, and see you guys next week.
Good night, y'all.